Hello and welcome to Just One More Watch, or more specifically, Just One More Mod. Now, you know I love Casio watches. I've got dozens of the things. One of my all-time favourites is the AE1200, aka the Casio Royale. I've gone on record on more than one occasion stating that I think the Casio Royale is the world's best value watch. I genuinely can't think of anything that can touch it on a dollar for dollar basis. It's a good size and yet it's light. 100 meters of water resistance, decent LED illumination and a bunch of buttons to play with when you're bored, all for less than $20 US. If you haven't already bought one of these, why haven't you already bought one of these? I'll leave a link in the description below to my Amazon storefront. You'll be able to pick up the resin banded one for around $18 US or the stainless steel one for $26 US. I will admit though, the looks aren't to everyone's taste. There seems to be a trend amongst automatic watches where you put the spec sheet all over the case back. Casio tend to put the spec sheet all over the front of the watch. I mean, is it really necessary to know how many alarms are available and the fact that it's an illuminator? So that's what we're going to do today then. Using simple household implements and a screwdriver, I'm going to take this one apart, clean it up a little bit, put it all back together, proving that less is indeed more. All in the time that it takes to listen to the Benny Hill theme tune. Let's flip the camera and get on with it. Alright, so here we are then. As you can see, I have got two Casio Royales. I have got the regular resin one, and I've also got the stainless steel braceleted version. It should be noted the case itself is not made of stainless steel, it's just coated plastic, but the bracelet is stainless steel. Now, the one on the right, the resin one, is a bit of a YouTube superstar in its own right. I reckon this watch has got close to 1 million views. I've made a bunch of videos that have done rather well out of this little watch, and I loaned it to Ivan over at Perth Watch, and I think his review has got about 300,000 views. So in respect of its star status, I'm not going to modify the resin one, I'm going to modify the steel one today, or the steel braceleted one today, I should say. Also, from what I can gather, the lettering comes off this case easier than the resin one, so just bear that in mind. I've seen a couple of people attempt it with the resin case version and it hasn't looked as good as people who've tried it with this one, so I thought this was the one to mod. So I'm going to start, I'm not even going to take the bracelet off it, I'm going to use the bracelet to help give me a bit of leverage if required. I'm going to get rid of illuminator and I'm going to get rid of world time at the top, which I think will clean up the case. Well, it'll make a start in cleaning up the case. Casio do love to slap adverts for features all over the dials of these watches, and those two are a bit unnecessary in my opinion. So they'll be the first things to go today. And all I need for this process today is a little tub of Goo Gone and some Q-tips, earbuds, ear wax removal devices here. Now, Goo Gone, you can find this one for less than a tenner. I'll leave a link in the description of the video. You will find it now in my Amazon storefront alongside the Casio Royale, so you can pick up both at the same time if you're intent on modding one of these yourself. And really, that's it. Q-tip, Goo Gone, and rub. Cue Benny Hill. You can see just little bits of the material, the printing on the tip of the Q-tip, which I think is a good sign. I'll keep rubbing. Definitely some progress being made. Getting there, time for a new Q-tip. And there we go, gone. What did that take? About 3 minutes, I reckon. Well worth the effort. And then fresh Q-tip, all I'm going to do is simply repeat the process and get rid of that world time as well. And there we are, that hasn't taken me 10 minutes in total, and I think we have a subtle but noticeable improvement. Much cleaner looking case. Okay, so you can stop here if you're not game enough to take the back off your Casio Royale, but I think I'll go a little bit further today. I'm going to get rid of 10-year battery, 5 alarms, and probably 100 meters of water resistance as well. I'm going to leave Casio and the 4 functions, but I'm going to open this thing, remove that panel and do the same job with the Goo Gone on some of the graphics on the inside of the case. So I'm going to pop a link and take the bracelet off first. There we are, pop a link in it anyway, and then unscrew the case back. Now they're little crosshead screws. I've got some half decent screwdrivers I am hoping will do the job for me here. And that's what one looks like with the case back removed. I've never done that to one of these Casios before, so always interesting to see the watch with its guts exposed. And I believe you take out the little seal, one of the reasons why that watch has got 100 meters of water resistance, and you should just be able to flip the whole module right out of the case. There we go, done. And likewise, if I'm gentle, I should be able to get the Bourgeon in there and just ping out that little piece of plastic. And there we go. So let's get some more Goo Gone and Q-tips, and I'll start with the 10-year battery. Well, that took less than a minute. 5 alarms is next. And leaving the hardest bit to last, it's that tricky little WR100 meter graphic there, stuck underneath the home time dial. Actually, that came off easiest of any of them. Because I've used the Goo Gone, what I'm going to do, I'm going to give it a rinse in some tap water, dry it off, just so that there's no residue, no sheen left on this one, and then I'm going to reassemble. Done, ready to reassemble. Now I have seen people cut those bars off with craft knives, but A, I don't trust myself, and B, I don't actually think it looks all that great. So I'm happy with today's proceedings. Should be quite a bit cleaner looking when I reassemble it. And there it is. Now what was that, 45 minutes work using bits and pieces you've probably got lying around the house anyway. A fun little DIY project that I think makes the beloved Casio Royale look even nicer. Just a little bit cleaner than it used to. So if you haven't already picked yourself up one of these, really, what are you waiting for? They're so economically viable, so much fun, and there's a bit of modding potential in there as well. I've seen people replace the LED lights inside to different colors to use different filters on the screen as well. Perhaps there'll be a part 2, a second installment of this in the months to come. Thanks for watching, see you in the next video.